This is what I mean when the transphobia just comes out. The audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. Okay, you don't own periods. You don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person. But as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it. Like, hello?
I just saw a really ignorant video from Jess Hilarious saying who's gonna stand up for us, because she was just so fucking offended that a trans woman would say that menstruation is not exclusively to cis women. Obviously cis women are not the only ones who experience menstruation, because trans men do too. But importantly, this ignorance has to stop. Like, enough is enough. Enough is a fucking enough. Like, this whole idea that trans people are in some way endangering your womanhood, the idea that even cis women, why do you seem to think that we are nothing more but menstruation and your biological parts? If a trans person talks about menstruation or their experiences or the fact that they are included in this, you're like, who's gonna defend us? If you don't shut your stupid like, listen, Jess Hilarious is hilarious. I'll give her that. I think she is a talented comedian, but shut the fuck up, because this is not the first time she's been culturally ignorant. Stay out of politics. Shut the fuck up, Jess.
Who the fuck is gonna stand up for us? Who the fuck stands up for us? And us, I mean women, real women, biological women, women who were born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? What's the only difference is you don't have a straitjacket on. Stop talking out your fucking ass. Wake up. How are you projecting your anger on real women? Because we are the gatekeepers. We are the gatekeepers for periods. We the only one that fucking bleed, honey. We the only ones that can give birth. We make y'all people. We make y'all. Y'all come from us. You can't be us. You will never. You're chasing something you'll never, ever get. You'll never be that.
I didn't want to say nothing on the trans stuff because it's really not. It's funny. That's why. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to be. It's comedy, and they're just letting comedy do what it do. It's funny. All these, so this trans lady or whatever. I don't know how it goes. It's like women, natural born women, aren't gatekeepers to periods and womanhood, because that's not what you do. Lady, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? You ain't making no sense. It's because you feel like a duck on Tuesday doesn't mean you go to the pond on Wednesday. It's a process. And some processes ain't for you. That's why I never really followed the trend thing. But now, shouts out to Jess Hilarious for finally standing up and saying something, because it's ludicrous. It's mind-blowing. Y'all just wanted some attention. That's all this.
While everyone is in an uproar about who can bleed and who can't, men have become so obsessed with women that they want to turn into one. And I find it quite flattering that womanhood seems so great to you guys. Y'all know me. You may not like what I got to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. In recent conversation, there's been a lot of uproar between trans women and real women. In my opinion, I think the most misogynistic thing that a man can do is reject his biology as a man and go into women-dominated spaces telling other women how he's a better woman than them, because it's based off of his feelings of how he perceives a woman to be, while walking in society emulating what he believes a woman looks like by replicating other women. When we're discussing womanhood, I cannot go to another woman and ask her what it feels like to be a woman, because being a woman is not a feeling. However, being a woman, I absolutely am subjected to my reproductive organs that identify me as a woman. And saying that doesn't mean that I'm less than a woman. It just means that that is the beginning of my woman origin and my woman experience. And for the women who can't have a baby, we still recognize those women as women because they do have the reproductive organs to do so. However, we also understand that something is medically wrong with them. I will give credence to the fact that women are not the only people who have a period if we're identifying them that way, because non-binary people or trans men actually can also have a period, but at the basis of it, we call those biological women. However, when you're talking about trans women, we understand that that is something that biologically impossible you cannot do. The power struggle here that comes into play is when there is a very small minority of people imposing onto a larger group of people that are telling them what they would like to be called, how they would like to be treated, how they would like to be pronounced, and how they would like to be identified, but then you're imposing terminology onto them that they have yet to accept. So I must appease your feelings calling you by the pronouns that you identify with as, because you have chosen to make this decision about putting on a wig and putting on nails and putting on a dress. However, when I tell you I reject terms like birthing person or breastfeeder or real woman or biological woman or cisgendered woman, at this point then I should just understand and accept it because science says so. But science also says that the basis of your DNA, you are biologically a male. So why are we not listening to science all the way across the board? Seems a little hypocritical to me. And since everyone has such an issue with understanding Just Hilarious, let me go ahead and put my cape on because I think I could break it down for you a little bit more. It's very disingenuous for you to overshadow that woman's feelings in regards to her womanhood when she actually has given birth to a baby, which biologically that does make her a woman. However, you decided to discuss her looks and says that she looks like a trans person while you're also attempting to advocate for trans people. It's giving inherent transphobia. Also, to resurface the interview where she's relaying her experience of a man DMing her thinking that she was a trans woman to have sex with her probably offended her because she's an actual woman, and it should be more of a slight to trans people considering the fact that that person has a fetish and just wanted to sexualize you and use you as an inanimate object. As a black woman, we have to be extremely mindful of how we attach ourselves to other intersectional groups when it comes to their issues, because we're always the first to remind people nobody respects us and nobody protects us, but we're the first to jump into the line of fire when other people need a defense. So here's a few things to remember when you're talking allyship. They're always present when it's time to give the tea or bash heterosexual men and amplify any bad experience that we've had in regards to our relationship issues. But anytime it's time to help these children and provide for them or be a better role model or even your protection, they are nowhere to be found. Not saying that there is an agenda, but I will say for a very small group of people who seem to not have any effect on anybody, when their issues come up in conversation, they're making a huge ruckus, and their representation comes at the basis of overshadowing other marginalized people.